Welcome to the announcements of the winners of the S+T+ARTS Prize 2024. I could not be more enthusiastic actually about this year's winners, and in a minute you will also know why. But first, allow me to give you a bit of background on the S+T+ARTS Initiative. S+T+ARTS stands for Science, Technology and the Arts, and it's not only a prize, it's actually the European Lighthouse Initiative to bring out new forms of art-driven innovation. Since 2016, this remarkable initiative actually funded 189 residencies with more than 6 million euros and brought out more than 230 S+T+ARTS prize projects. The prize competition organized by Ars Electronica received more than 15,000 submissions from 101 different nations between 2016 and 2023. For the very first time this year, in addition to the S+T+ARTS Prize, we also run the S+T+ARTS Prize Africa with a specific continental focus and dedicated to innovation coming from Africa. But more on that soon. We all know, of course, that economic-driven innovation alone will no longer be enough, and that we really need to do justice also to social and ecological factors in innovation. And S+T+ARTS is an initiative precisely for this, to call for creativity, also for artistic thinking, to allow new types of innovation, in particular those types of innovation which are particularly relevant for the society. And this need is very much picked up systematically by the European Commission since nearly 10 years now, in particular by DG Connect, the Directorate General for Communication Networks, Content and Technology, and the Horizon Europe Research Funding Program. And of course, this investment really deserves an extra credit. So thank you so much for this 10 years of continuous support into the S+T+ARTS initiative. Ars Electronica is in a big network actually within this program with more than 100 partner organizations around the globe. But an extra gratitude actually goes out to the S+T+ARTS Prize consortium partners with Sonar in Barcelona, French Tech Grand Provence, the Media Solutions Center Baden-Württemberg, the Technical University Dresden, the Salzburg Festival, and the two innovation companies INOVA and T6Ecosystems. Together, we are not only running the prize, but we are actually hosting also residencies and the AI Music Festival, which was held just last week in Barcelona. The competition itself invites project submissions from all around the globe, so artists, creative professionals from all countries around the world can submit. In addition to the open call, which runs actually in parallel to the Ars Electronica, we invited also an advisory report to nominate projects and recommend outstanding initiatives worldwide. From this pool then, a jury came together to select 2 grant prizes, 10 honorary mentions and 18 nominations. Winning projects should all demonstrate excellence in one of the following areas: in groundbreaking collaborations and projects driven by arts and technology, or artistic works and practices that really have a strong connection to innovation, or the field of technology and business, or last, also technological and scientific research, which is inspired by the arts or involving also artists as catalysts to proceed these processes. The grant prize is determined in 2 different categories, and I will come back to this when I'm announcing the winners. This year already marks the 9th year of the S+T+ARTS Prize, and we are of course more than happy that Ars Electronica is issuing this S+T+ARTS Prize on behalf of the European Commission since the very beginning. This year we received a total of 1,308 submissions from 81 countries. And the jury came together in late April to select the 2 grant prizes and, of course, the recipients of the 20,000 euros prize money each. One of the greatest assets, of course, in SARTS Prize is the huge diversity of different projects, of different disciplines, of technologies used. And you will see that also in the range, not only of the 2 grant prizes, but the 10 honor mentions we are going to present quickly today. Part of the success in finding this huge diversity in this scope is, of course, also bringing really this international expertise of various sectors, of various also backgrounds into the jury each year at the jury meeting. I quickly introduce the jury members of this year. Fumi Hirota is an art producer, chief of initiative section at the Digital Creativity Division of Tokyo Metropolitan Foundation for History and Culture. Previously, she was involved in the Yamaguchi Center for Arts and Media, the Japan Media Arts Festival, and the Japan Foundation Asia Center. Katja Schechtner is an urban scientist and policymaker. Previously, she led programs at the OECD in France, the Asian Development Bank, and advised players, including the European Commission, and had various teaching positions, including the MIT Media Lab or the Technical University in Vienna. Francesca Bria is a known innovation economist and digital policy expert advising governments all over the world, and was also ranked by Politico as one of the 28 most powerful players in Europe's tech revolution. Manuela Navot is university professor for critical data at the Interfaces Culture Department at the University of Arts Linz, holds various positions in teaching, and was previously head of Ars Electronica Export. Mia Tursic is an artist, trained industrial designer, and co-founder of the Culture Center for European Space Technologies in Slovenia. Today, he leads, however, the Space Lab at Vach Future Lab and heads numerous STARTS residency programs with industries. Well, I have to thank you all. I have to thank you all for this outstanding selection and for your choice, a choice we finally reveal. The grant prize for innovative collaboration goes to Arts at CERN. The grant prize for innovative collaboration is awarded for outstanding collaborative endeavors between industry and the technological profession on the one side and the arts and creativity field on the other side that really open up new pathways for innovation. Arts at CERN is the arts program of CERN, the European Laboratory for Nuclear Research in Geneva, and they're inviting already for nearly 12 years now artists across all disciplines to experience the way the big questions of our universe are explored by fundamental sciences. Of course, here the big goal of the program is to facilitate really exchanges between the artists and creative professionals and the physicists, and connect also through this program to the international cultural and creative community. The program itself consists of an research-led artist residency program, fostering the dialogue between artists and the CERN community. The second strand is also commissioning new art projects for artists who have previously visited CERN and have stayed there also at the facilities. And the third strand of the program is implementing and organizing exhibitions and events really with partners around the globe. The outcomes, the artistic outcomes of the programs are testimonials by themselves, featuring really numerous recognized and awarded art projects, artistic research projects all over the globe. Perhaps never before, I would say, a jury was so unanimous as this year and quickly decided on the grant prize. The program, which has been involving art and science programs and debates really for 12 years now, is, I would say, one of the leading lighthouses in the world. And the jury wanted to recognize not only the program, but of course, very much also the people behind the organization, the scientists, the artists, also the creative technologists and the cultural managers who are leading art and science and the field since many years, who are also driving arts and science to an extraordinary interplay and long-lived inter and transdisciplinarity. Above all, this program is, of course, really the example of how science, technology, and art can interact as equals. Methods from research meet methods from arts and cross-fertilize. It goes, of course, without saying that an infrastructure like CERN conducts research in the field of physics, such as structure of matter, also the movement of light and sound waves. But the research held at CERN, of course, do reflect very much also topical issues like the climate change. And here they're bringing in very much also the critical thinking and opening up a space for both the artists and the scientists to share and work on these topical issues jointly. Congratulations to Arts at CERN for this Grand Prize for Innovative Collaboration. The congratulations can also be extended, in fact, to the Grand Prize for Artistic Exploration. Artistic exploration is the category in S+T+ARTS Prize awarded for artworks where the appropriation through arts has a really strong potential to influence or change the use, the deployment, or the perception of technology. This year's Grand Prize for Artistic Exploration goes to Vladan Jola and Kate Crawford for their impressive investigation Calculating Empires. Kate Crawford is an internationally recognized scholar focusing on the social implications of artificial intelligence. She holds multiple prestigious academic and research positions, and her acclaimed book, Atlas of AI, has won several awards and was listed among the best books of 2021 by New Scientist and the Financial Times. She was named one of the most influential people in AI by the Time magazine. Vladan Jola is an academic researcher and artist whose interdisciplinary work includes data investigation, critical design, and data visualization. He's also the founder of the SHARE Foundation and a professor at the University of Novi Sad. And as many of you know, his works have been, of course, featured in more than 100 exhibitions worldwide, including the MoMA, ZKM, V&A, Design Society Shenzhen, or the European Parliament, even in Brussels. Together, they have created over their long-lasting collaboration really influential visual mapping projects, such as the Anatomy of an AI System, which have won several awards and is included also in museum collections around the globe, a project which is also currently presented here in the Ars Electronica Center. Calculating Empires is now their new joint research project, a 4 years in the making project as a large-scale installation that traces the ways that technology and power have been intertwined over 5 centuries through industrialization, through imperialism, and automation. The work actually visualizes these major shifts into a stunning visual manifesto you see behind me about the way empires have used technology to centralize and consolidate power structures. Spanning for an impressive 24 meters length and 3 meters in height, Calculating Empires is a vast diagrammic presentation. One part of the presentation is focused on the history of communication and computation. The other part addresses actually the systems of classification and control. But when you read it together as a visitor, these maps really illuminate technical and social structures that co-evolved over the centuries. And by seeing how the past empires have calculated, we can also begin to understand as visitors to calculate the cost of contemporary empires. The jury was immensely impressed by this stunning visual manifesto on technology and power relations, containing really an overwhelming number of details and information spanning back 5 centuries, when empires actually started to use technology to centralize and consolidate power, a phenomenon which of course exists still today and lead to the question, what kind of world do we want to live in? And the jury continuously asked here also, how can we create infrastructures in Europe that we want to live in particular infrastructures, of course, that also allow a societal reflection or are developed for societal benefit. How can we hence really foster infrastructures of power and care? And this is exactly the discussion we will also bring back to the STARTS Day held on September 5th. Congratulations to Calculating Empires for the Grand Prize of Artistic Exploration. Those are just two of the projects the jury selected, but as I mentioned, we have 10 honorary mentions and 18 nominations, and some of them you will be able to also see at the Ars Electronica Festival in autumn this year, in September this year in Linz, and of course we will bring many of them also to the conference program. I would like to make a brief run through also to give you this stunning diversity and insight into the 10 honor mention, and of course invite you then to come to the festival to have a look yourself. Adriatic Sensing by Robertina Sebenec investigates the anthropogenic impact of sea urchin habitat, revealing also low oxygen levels due to the liquid waste in oceans. The aesthetically stunning work reveals the stresses in particular of global but also local human footprints on the ocean, and demonstrates at the same time also how resilient these aquatic species can be. The art installation displaying 3 decades of environmental big data from the EU Copernicus platform were actually used, and also with the support of AI displays certain environmental and ecological parameters such as temperature, pH or oxygen. For Adriatic Sensing, Robertina Sebenec receives a honorary mention. How not to get hit by a self-driving car by Tomo Kihara and Daniel Koppen is a game installation that challenges people to cross the street without being detected by an artificial intelligence. In the experience, the players actually see themselves augmented on a large screen at the end of the playing field, and it simulates, so to say, what the AI-powered camera of a self-driving car sees. Each player then needs to trick the system and stay under a certain percentage, which indicates the confidence at which the system would actually identify you as a pedestrian, a project which you also can test then at the Ars Electronica Festival and try to trick the AI. Congratulations to this honorary mention for how not to get hit by a self-driving car. Coralysis by Gilberto Espasa is a hybrid organism of ceramic structures and coral colonies that coexist in a symbiotic relationship. This work is in fact actually installed on the seabed, and it interacts with coral ecosystems that are stressed obviously by human activities. It generates its own energy to help also mineralization and accelerate the growth of corals. With this project, the artist really seeks to raise also awareness, of course, about the human footprint and the importance of protecting coral reefs, for proposing also new types of relationships between humans and the nature, also types of collaborations involving local communities to install this kind of new organism and build these kind of collaborations with human-nature relationships. For Coralysis, Gilberto Espasa receives a honorary mention. Mapping Uncertain Landscapes, the Satellite by Sofia Isupova is a map-making machine surveilling, tracking, targeting, diagramming, drawing, redrawing the segments of the Ukrainian terrain, all to sense the changes in the landscape that are occurring based on the current escalation war of the Russian aggression war in the Ukraine. With the work, she is actually transforming satellite images into maps of the territory, but at the same time, she also wants to explore the ecological consequences of the ongoing war in the Ukraine and its impact on landscapes. For this project, she receives a honorary mention. Maria Choir by Maria Anal Dimas is an immersive human AI musical installation that invites, in fact, participants to explore the boundaries of singing and listening through real-time interaction with AI. The artwork leverages a model trained on the voice of the singer, Maria Anal, and enables through this really a duet between the visitor, between you and the AI that evolves also with each interaction, becoming a choir. Additionally, the images on the projection react to the voices of visitors to enhance the immersive experience. For Maria Choir, Maria Anal Dimas receives a honorary mention. Metabolica by Thomas Feuerstein tells a story about the cycles of life that involve nature, economy, politics, art, and science. Using the metabolism of microorganisms, a new material for sculpture is produced and partially also degraded to create new forms and also new aesthetics. The aim of the whole research is to use carbon sources from wastewater streams in industrial and sewage treatment plants to produce bioplastics. For this work, Thomas Feuerstein receives a honorary mention. P2P by Eva and Franco Mattes is an installation that brings a functioning artist-runner data center inside an art institution to share artworks through the peer-to-peer network. P2P contemplates about the impact of the digital age on the art world and introduces new possibilities also for artistic exchange, also how artworks can be newly distributed and preserved, and by this also proposes a new alternative infrastructure in the world of arts. Congratulations for the honorary mention for B2B. Self-Care by Lindsay Walsh is a project about health, gender, genetics, and identity. It features a specially designed chest binder housing living breast cancer cells, which allows the artist also to care for their genetically predestined cancer. Through this device, the artist explores, care, and seeks to reclaim the body through queer liberation. For this project, Self-Care, Lindsay Walsh receives a honorary mention. Waterworks of Money by Colleen Kingma is a collaboration between science, journalism, the financial sector, and the arts to make the financial world understandable, accessible to the broad public. Through metaphors, through maps, also through animations, the artist visualizes the flow of money through society and explores different kinds of options for improving the money system in the digital age. Congratulations for a honorary mention for Waterworks of Money. VRJ Palestine is reviving Palestinian villages demolished 25 years ago with real-time rendering and digital narrative tools to safeguard through these collective memories at risk. The flexible VR platform Jaffa Flashbacks offers an engaging online experience accessible across a variety of devices, also to contribute to preserve the rich history of forgotten places. Congratulations to Nisreen Zadeh for this fantastic work and the honorary mention. Well, that's a quick run through the 2 grant prizes of STARTS Prize 2024 and the 10 honorary mentions. If you want to discover more, please feel invited also to join the Ars Electronica Festival from September 4th to September 8th in Linz, where we will have not only the STARTS Prize winners, but also the STARTS Prize winners of the STARTS Prize Africa and several STARTS residencies presented in a fantastic post-city exhibition. And of course, as part of the 3-day theme symposium this year, we will also held the STARTS Day on September 5th, investigating different kinds of power structures and new dynamics in art-driven innovation. We all hope to see you soon in Linz. Thank you so much for listening in, and for now, goodbye.